gorgeous? Aren't I gorgeous, Jerry? So gorgeous. Oh, we on? Oh no. Heaven forbid. Oh well, I was just making sure my hair looked all right. Hey, it's Linda Carbino, and welcome to another special edition of Walking Through Life. Today I'm going to be telling you a funny story, because laughter is the best medicine. But first, before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about feelings. There are several different feelings, and ones that come to my mind are sad, which is like that, right? And then there's happy, and then there's excited, and then there's painful. Ooh, that's how I react to pain anyway. So now I'm going to tell you a story about a painful event in my life. So, I mean, physical pain. I mean, you really got to know about physical pain anyway. So the story starts out when I was 16 years old, and I had my very first apartment. I lived on the second floor. In my apartment, I had 6 rooms, a sun porch, and a shed. I had no friends because I lived in an area that I'd never been before. I didn't grow up there, New Market, New Hampshire. I worked at a boot factory down the road, which was Timberland Boots. And there was some people that lived downstairs from me, and there was a girl down there that was about my age, probably 16, maybe a year older than I was anyway. So she worked at the same boot factory that I did. Well, one day, you know, she says, "What do you do after work?" And I said, "Oh, nothing. Just sit around. I get bored." She goes, "Well, we should hang out sometime." And I said, "Well, come on up to the apartment sometime." So she goes, "Okay, maybe we'll have a dinner party." So the nice person that I am decided that I was going to put on a dinner party. So I went out and bought, you know, the stuff to make pizza. You know, I made the basic bread dough, you know, and the tomatoes and all that, made this big pizza. So she invited over a couple of friends of hers. And she goes, "Linda, I'm going to fix you up. I know you haven't got a boyfriend. I'm going to fix you right up." And I said, "Okay." So here comes these 2 other couples, you know, guy, boy, guy, boy, guy, boy. And of course, my friend had her boyfriend too. So all of a sudden, this guy that I've never seen before walked to my front door. And boy, I can tell you, he was cute. He had long hair, you know, kind of the hippie type. You know, that was back in the late 70s, you know, so you can tell the hippies with the long hair, you know, and the headbands and all that kind of stuff. Well, anything, I thought he was just the cat meow, because I thought he was so cute. So we all went in and we had dinner. But after dinner, this is when the fun started, because everybody decided that we were going to do a spin the bottle with some whiskey, because we all were getting drunk. So we were doing this little spin the bottle thing, and of course I wouldn't kiss him, because, you know, I didn't know him, so why would I kiss him? You know, I'd never been with a boy before. So anyway, after all of this fun, and we were all feeling pretty good, and we're in there, and it's the second floor, so it's hot, you know. So I said, "Oh my gosh, is it hot in here? We should go swimming or something." So they all got together and we said, "Okay, we're going to go swimming." All right. So for my house to the local swimming hole, well, it was probably about, I don't know, maybe 500 feet or maybe half a mile or whatever it is. But anyway, we get there. And so there's a big lake there. And all of a sudden, this guy, the one that was supposed to be going out with me, Tommy, says out loud, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's all go skinny dipping." And I'm like, "No, I don't think so. I will not do that." So, of course, him and the other people said, "Okay, Linda, we know you're modest, so we'll make you a deal. We'll go out in the water first, and we'll hang out there until you get comfortable. You can get undressed, then get in the water, and then yell to us when you're in the water, and we won't turn around until you're in the water." I said, "You promise?" And they said, "Yeah, we promise." So out they went, but I just had a sneaking suspicion that they were going to turn around really quick. So when it was my turn to get in the water, I stepped out into the water, right? Just like this. And so I thought I saw one move, so I decided that I was going to sit really, really quick. So down I went, and when I did, all of a sudden, up came a snapping turtle, bit me right. Oh my God, did that hurt? Oh my God, I'm standing there and I got the snapper turtle. Well, I came out of that and give a crap what I looked like. I didn't care. All I knew is I had a snapper turtle right here and it hurt. So I'm yelling at them to come quick and get the snapper turtle off my butt. So they're coming really, really quick, trying to get it off, but they just yanked it. I'm going, "No, that ain't gonna work." So the one guy said, "The only way you can get a snapping turtle from biting is to cut its body off its head." So they did that, and guess what? The turtle didn't stop biting. It still wouldn't come off, and I still got this turtle on my butt. So in the meantime, these guys are laughing their butts off. We won't say that word. Butts off. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm in pain here. What are you doing laughing? So it's, get me to the hospital or something. But they only had this little teeny tiny, bike. How are they going to get me to the hospital? So two of the girls went down the road, tried to flag down a car, right? So of course they go down this great big huge station wagon, come down the road, and they flag him down to come down and help me, right? So he pulls up the station wagon with these two big guys in there, and they get out trying to find out what the problem was. They see me, of course, standing there, with a turtle, coming off my what. Anyway, they come over and they start laughing so hard, their hands are hitting their legs like this, and they're just laughing and doubling over in laughter. And I said, you know what, this is not funny. I need to get to the hospital. So the one guy says, okay, how are we going to do this now? We got to get her in there. She's got this thing, she can't sit down. So of course the one guy says, okay, I'm going to stand over here on this side of the station wagon. You stand over there. And they said, we're going to pull her through. And I said, yeah, okay. So of course they tried to get me to bend down in the car. When they did, the snapper turtle still had a hold of my butt. It hurt. And they're trying to get me down like this. They finally get me down. Of course, I'm a big girl, if you didn't notice. So they get me down like this, and they just grabbed a hold of me like this, and by this time, they pulled me straight through the car, so here I am laying with my butt right up in the air, By this time, I'm crying and whining, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is that it hurt. Well, finally, they got me to the hospital. And so, of course, they came out with a stretcher, and the guys is telling the doctor and the nurse there that came out, you're not going to be able to put her on the stretcher. All we could do is get her in this car. So then they had to figure out how they're going to pull me out of this car to get me into the stretcher, or get me up anyway. So of course, here comes one on this end for the legs. Here we go. Out. They're trying to pull me out. I wouldn't come out. It was like I was stuck. So the other guy had to go in the other direction here and just push my shoulder blades back. And they're tugging, and they're pushing, and they're tugging, and they're pushing. Oh, what pain. Oh, but they finally got me out. And then they had to help me up to my feet to get onto the stretcher. So they said, okay, jump me on. Well, no, I ain't going to jump on top of my butt. So then they had to figure out, they had to turn the stretcher around, pick it up so it went up like this, so that I could actually go up like this, put myself on like this, and then put my leg up. And then they had to pull my other leg up there. So anyway, as it was, I got onto the stretcher and had to be wheeled into the emergency room. While I'm in there, though, I got to tell you, all the nurses, all the doctors, and everybody in that hospital were laughing. They were all coming in to see the turtle that was on my butt. And in the meantime, I'm in this pain. I'm going, no, this is not funny at the time. Right now, it's not funny. Not time to laugh. Can you help me a little bit here? And even the doctor said to me, that poor turtle, he lost his life. And I says, poor turtle, I still got his teeth in my butt. They had to literally pry it out of there, and then he had to stitch me up. But that's not the funniest thing. The funniest thing is what happens after all of that, right? After years later, after all this gets all done with the turtle and all this kind of stuff. So I finally go to a friend, and I finally tell him my traumatic story with the snapping turtle. And what they say to me is, oh, can we see the hole? Can you imagine? They want to see it? They want to look at that? No, I don't think so. But I also think I developed PTSD from snapping turtles. Because last week I was up to a friend of mine's house, and they happened to mention that in the backyard they had snapping turtles. Well, I'll tell you what, I jumped up from the table and I said, I want to go home, and I want to go home now. Don't get me near that snapping turtle. I don't want to be near that snapping turtle. And they're like, why? So of course I had to retell the story about the snapping turtle again. But I got to tell you, nobody can tell me that they know what it feels like to get bit by a snapping turtle in the butt. And I think this is an original story, and you won't hear it from anybody else.